All kids, sooner or later, need to learn about the birds and the bees, and that includes children with disabilities. Natalie Williams is working on her PhD at Ohio University right now, and she specializes in the subject of sexuality for the mentally disabled. She also joins us here in our studio. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Angela.
I wanted to start off and ask you, do kids with mental disabilities need the same kind of teaching about sex as children without mental disabilities?
Yes, Angela. Everyone goes through puberty. Everyone grows up. Everyone has those type of feelings. So yes, this information, it is more than just about the act of sex. So yes, I do think children with special needs need it as well.
Well, what is the best way of going about teaching children with disabilities about sexual education?
Children with disabilities, specifically intellectual and cognitive disabilities, really need a lot of repetition. And you can do the same things in different contexts to increase their ability to generalize to other situations, but definitely a lot of repetition.
And why is that repetition so important?
It's really important, especially considering the area of sexuality, because most of us get sex ed maybe once during a particular school year. And so children with special needs, in order for that info to really stick and to hit home, you're going to need to do it more than once.
And you brought a couple things here with you today. You brought one of these posters right here, and then you brought two books. Can you tell me a little bit about what these are and how they're used?
Sure. This game right here calls...
We can go ahead and hold it up too.
Sure.
So everyone can get a look.
It's Go Slow Stop. It's an activity that I amended from Planned Parenthood. It's a way to teach about healthy and unhealthy relationships. So the stop would be in a scenario related to a situation of abuse. Slow would be a situation where maybe there's some uneasiness, not really sure. And then go would describe those healthy and safe relationships.
And can you give just like quick examples with this stop, slow, and go of what those situations may be?
A situation referred to as go, you could use little different scenarios relevant to home, community, or the classroom. So say, for instance, a student wants to sit next to another student that they really enjoy their company. So that would definitely be a situation go. A slow might be a situation where a student puts their hand on another student's shoulder, and we're generally taught to think that our private parts are those areas covered by swimming suits, but really your whole body is a private part. So in that situation, if you don't want to be touched, you could call that a slow. And then stop would be any areas related to, physical or sexual abuse where there's definitely, an unhealthy relationship there.
And what about these books? How do you use those?
These two books are really made for parents. One is called Sexuality and Your Sons and Daughters with Intellectual Disabilities by Schreier and Hingsberger. Another one by Terry Cohenhoven is for teaching children with Down syndrome about their bodies. So these are really just ways for parents to address the issue with their children.
Well, and you bring up a good subject. What advice do you give parents who do have children with mental disabilities and talking about this somewhat sensitive subject?
I would first say just don't be scared, because generally, as long as you're willing to broach the topic, you're really going to be providing them with helpful information that they may or may not get otherwise. So definitely don't show fear. And second of all, just become informed, use the resources that you have at your disposal, and just be willing to get out there and talk about these topics.
And very briefly, you do talk about a term called body safety when it comes to talking about sexuality with the mentally disabled. So can you tell me what that term means?
Sure. Body safety, also referred to as good touch, bad touch. It's really something that is very simple. You can start even as young as preschool age to help children name those body parts using appropriate language instead of some of the, this is my private parts. You really teach them the correct terminology so that if something does happen, they'll be able to, describe exactly and report situations of abuse.
Ms. Williams, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.